All right, today we're doing chapter 1.1, bar graphs and dot plots. So today's learning target is I will begin to explore data, and the success criteria is I can create bar graphs and dot plots from a set of data. So for your entry task, you are going to look at the chart below and you're going to answer the following questions. So notice that the chart shows the number of CD sales for different CD genres. The key tells us that every X represents one CD. So if you look, we have rock CDs, country, R&B, gospel, pop, classical, rap, and jazz. So looking at the graph, we're going to answer each of these questions. The first question says, which CD sold the most? So if you're looking at your graph, which one do you think sold the most? Hopefully you notice that rock is what sold the most CDs because it has the highest bar, right? So we're going to write rock. Then it asks us how many. So you simply would count the X's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and write 10 as how many CDs were sold. Okay? Then the next question says, which sold the least? So you can look at your bars again and say, well, which one is the smallest? Notice there are two that are the smallest. So which are the two? And one of them is rap, and the other one is jazz. So we're gonna put rap and jazz. Then again, we're asking how many. Notice each of them only has one, so we will put one. One of each of them were sold. So this is just a basic bar graph or a dot plot. I guess it's not a bar. We could call it more of a dot plot, even though they're X's. Sometimes you'll see dots. In the book, this actually had little CDs to represent each CD sale. It doesn't really matter, but we'll call this one a dot plot. Now we're going to create a bar graph. So what I'm going to do is write down the grades of the students in the class, and we're going to take that data and create a bar graph. So if I'm looking at the roster here, we have, let's see, a 10th grader, 10th grader, 10th grader, 10th grader, 10th, 10th, 10th. I think I did that right. Okay. And then we have 11, 11, 11, 11th, so the first thing we do is we always collect our data. Again, these are the grades of the students in our class. So we have some 10th graders, some 11th graders, and then we have a few 12th graders. So 12, 12, 12, 12, and 12. Ooh, just barely fit. Awesome. Notice we don't have any 9th graders. I don't think we have many 9th graders in our school right now. So we have some 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders, and we're going to take these numbers and we're going to display them in a bar graph on our paper here. So the first thing that we want to do when we're creating any type of graph is we want to give it a name. So I'm going to say grade level of Miss Connery's class. Okay, and I could have said algebra class to make it more specific, but that's fine. So then we want to figure out how many numbers we have of each grade level. That way we can make sure our height is high enough to incorporate that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 10th graders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 11th graders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 12th graders. So since we have 11, just double checking, 11 is our highest number. So we want to make sure that when we're drawing our graph, we give ourselves enough room to go up to 11. So I'm going to, let's do, every space will be about 2. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So I'm going to go like this. So I don't have 11 spaces, and sometimes, you know, it makes more sense to not go by ones so that you can fit more on your graph. So I don't have 11 lines, but I can go by 2s and only have to go up 6 lines. Okay, so then we draw our axes and we're going to label it with the numbers. So here I said I went up by 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And so these are going to represent how many students, the number of students in that grade. So on the side, we're going to put number of students in the grade level. Okay, kind of messy, but number of students in the grade level. Okay, and then down here, we are going to put the different grade levels. So we have 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. If we wanted to, because we do have, our high school does have 9th graders, we could have had a 9 here, and then we would have just left it blank because there are 0 9th graders. But and this one we didn't, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. All right, so then these numbers represent the grade level. So we'll label this axis as grade level. Okay, so again, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 10th graders. So we're going to create a bar up to 7. Notice that I am halfway between the 6 and the 8 because that's where 7 is at. You can shade these in or not. It does not matter. I like to do it. For the 11th graders, we said we have 11 of them. So I'm going to draw a bar. And sometimes the bars can touch. They don't have to touch. It doesn't really matter. I'm leaving spaces between my bars. So here, halfway between 10 and 12 is 11. So we have 11 11th graders. And then we have 5 12th graders. So I'm going to go between the 4 and the 6 to represent the 5 12th graders. So that is how we would create a bar graph from a set of data. So now we're going to talk about a few different numbers that we can find in our data. So these would be your math vocabulary words. So it's good to be taking notes on this so that you can use your notebook and your notes later. You could always come back to this lesson to review it as well. All right, now we're going to talk about some math terms that we use when we're looking at data in a bar graph or in a dot plot or any other graph we might be looking at. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the minimum. Now the minimum is the smallest number. So in this, we're looking for what is the smallest bar we have, and then what number does that bar represent? So our lowest number of students in any grade level is in the 12th grade level, and we only have 5 of them. So the smallest number that we have in the frequency is 5. Now, the next word we're looking at is maximum. Now, maximum is the largest number. So in what grade level do we have the most amount of students? And hopefully you're looking at these bars and you see that the highest one is the 11th graders. And so then we say, well, how many 11th graders do we have? And we have 11 of them. Then the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at what is called the range. Now the range is the maximum, which is the largest number, minus the minimum, which is the smallest number. So we just found the largest and the smallest number. All we have to do is subtract them. So our maximum is, I'm gonna do it down here, 11, and our minimum is 5. So we're going to take 11, we're going to subtract 5, and we're going to get 6. So the range of our data is 6, which means that the span of the numbers is across 6 numbers. So let me see if I can make that a little bit more clear. So 10th graders, we have 7 of them. 11th graders, we have 11 of them, and 12th graders, we have 5 of them, right? So our data at this point is really, we have 5, 7, and 11. So we see that our largest number, or the maximum, is the 11. Our smallest number, or our minimum, is the 5. And then we say, well, how far do these numbers span? So if we were to look at it on a number line, then you can see from 5 to 11, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is where we get the range from. So we said the range is 6. Range equals 6. So now it's harder to do that when you have larger numbers and a bigger range. So the easy way is just to simply take the maximum, subtract the minimum, and get the range of the numbers. So between 5 and 11, 5 to 11, it's 6 numbers in the range. So now that you have gone through the notes for chapter 1.1, your assignment or your homework is to do, so you're going to go into the files on your Teams. You're going to click on the chapter 1 worksheets. It's a PDF file. And you are going to work on the first worksheet, which is 1.1. And I believe it has the same title as today's lesson. And that's bar graphs and dot plots. Okay. And if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the Teams chat. Otherwise, you can also email me. And we will be hopping on a call to go over this and get any questions answered together after you've taken time to watch this video. All right, see you soon.